Welcome to the Nintendo Wiretap. My name is Amiibo Jason, and on today's episode, we have a lot to cover. We have brand new Nintendo Switch Online games, brand new Kirby-themed merchandise coming to the Nintendo Switch, a classic Nintendo 64 game is getting brand new life on the Nintendo Switch, and, of course, we have to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog. I think you know where this is going, so without further ado, let's take a look. Coming in at number 1 today, we get Kid Icarus and Star Tropics coming to Nintendo Switch Online on March 13th. Now, if you're a fan of Nintendo Switch Online, which I know a lot of people aren't, that's fine. Love it or hate it, the NES games are probably the best part of the service, and 2 brand new titles are coming very soon. The classic Kid Icarus on the NES, and of course, Star Tropics. Now, Star Tropics was never my favorite game, but it's still cool to see it added to this service. But Kid Icarus, on the other hand, is an absolutely amazing platformer, so I can't wait to see this one hit the Nintendo Switch on March 13th. Now, if you're in Japan, which I'm guessing not a lot of you are, but if you are, you get 3 games instead of 2. One game happens to be Kid Icarus, so we kind of share that one. Another game is called Yi Ar Kung Fu, or Yi Ar Kung Fu, I'm not sure which one. And the big news here is, of course, Fire Emblem. That's right, the classic Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon and the Sword of Light is finally coming to the Nintendo Switch. In Japan. In Japanese. Which is a bummer because it's never seen an official English language release. I would love to see this game translated, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Once again, if you're in North America, you can expect Kid Icarus and Star Tropics on March 13th. But there you go. I'm super curious to see what you guys think about these games. Are you bummed like me that Fire Emblem is only getting released in Japan? Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments down below. Alright, coming in at number 2 today, we're taking a look at some brand new Kirby merchandise coming to the Nintendo Switch in the form of cases and protective covers. Now, if you're a fan of Nintendo Wire in any capacity, you know we are crazy about merchandise. We love cases, especially branded cases, and Kirby happens to be one of my favorite Nintendo characters ever. So if you're a Kirby fan, there are a lot of things to look forward to. Now, the first wave here happens to fall into the quick pouch version of cases. Now, quick pouches have been around for quite some time, and they are the perfect companion for the Nintendo Switch. They're kind of like a body glove, they fit the Switch very, very tightly. I happen to have 2 of these, one with Mario and Luigi on it, so I'm definitely going to be adding a lot of these to my collection. Now, out of all of these, my absolute favorite has to be the original artwork versions of this. Now, they're absolutely gorgeous. I love how cute Kirby looks on here. You even get Rick, Koo, and Kine all on here as well. So, if you're a fan of any of these characters, chances are you're going to love these. Now, like most really cool merchandise, chances are we're not going to see these in the US anytime soon, but stay tuned to Nintendo Wire on Twitter. We'll let you know if any import sites put these up anytime soon. Now, if you're looking for something to just kind of protect the screen on the Nintendo Switch, there's also some options for you too. You have the Kirby inhaling option, and there is that same one that we saw before with the classic kind of cartoon-looking Kirby with Rick, Koo, and Kine on the background. Now, both of these are coming out once again in Japan, but stay tuned to Nintendo Wire. We'll let you know if these go up too. But what do you guys think about these? Do you like this kind of merchandise? Are you a fan of Kirby? Let me know your thoughts if you want to pick these up in the comments down below. Alright, moving right along at number 3, Tarak Dinosaur Hunter is coming to the Nintendo Switch. Yes, that's right, it looks like the original Tarak is coming to Nintendo Switch. Now, if you're a fan of classic Nintendo 64 stuff, which if you know me, I absolutely am, you must be a fan of Tarak. It was one of the absolute best games on the N64. While it hasn't aged completely well, it's still pretty great. I was a huge fan of the game, so finding out that it's coming to Nintendo Switch makes me incredibly happy. Now, some things you want to keep in mind about this game first. Now, this looks like it's a remastered version of the game that was put out by Night Dive Studio on the PC a few years back. So, it's going to be at least somewhat better than the original N64 version, while still keeping a lot of the original charm. Now, if you want to pick this up, it's going to be $20 and it releases on March 18th. Now, here's my biggest problem with this game. $20 seems like a bit much for a game that's that old. It's not a full HD remaster. It looks like it's polished, but once again, this doesn't look like it's all that fancy. So $20 for a game that's this old, well, it's going to be a bit more difficult for me to get behind this one. But like I said before, I am a fan of Tarak, so chances are I'm probably going to end up picking this up anyway. I know it's kind of hypocritical, but what are you gonna do? But I'm curious to see what you guys think about this. Are you a fan of Nintendo 64 games like this being ported over to the Nintendo Switch? Are you okay with the price point? Have you ever played Tarak? Let me know your thoughts on this game in the comments down below. And finally, we're finally going to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, this is something that I was kind of debating if we're going to talk about on the Nintendo Wiretap because, well, it's Sonic and he's not really a Nintendo character, but as the story kind of develops, I really think we should talk about this because thanks to a leak on Reset Era, it looks like we have our very first look at what Sonic the Hedgehog is going to look like in the upcoming live-action Sonic the Hedgehog movie, and it doesn't look that good. In fact, it looks pretty bad. Now, I might be spoiled, and Detective Pikachu has really opened my eyes to how great a live-action cartoon movie might look, but Sonic, something looks off, and I think the big thing for me is just how big he looks. He looks really tall, his legs are very humanoid, and his face, oh god, his face. Now, I really don't want to just rag on this all that much, but I really want to get a couple things out there. So number one, this is not completely confirmed as of yet. We know people can fake things, but it looks like it is pretty legit. Now, what ended up happening was marketing material for the movie ended up getting leaked onto Reset Era, and that's what we're able to see right now. Now, after the initial shock of this kind of happened, we ended up getting treated with yet another image from this movie as well. Now, this latest image actually appears to be a still from the movie and shows us a full body shot of Sonic, and once again, everything just kind of looks off. The head to body ratio just looks really weird. There's just something about this humanoid looking Sonic that doesn't mesh well with me. And the other huge thing here is that it appears that instead of gloves, he has white furry hands. Now, I know most of you have probably already heard all of the negative things you need to hear about this from other YouTube channels, from other places all over the internet since this story first came out, but I really wanted to say something about this because I think this can be saved. After looking at these images, I think if Sega and the studio behind this movie took some time to look at the criticism, they could fix Sonic's character model. I don't think it's too late. Maybe delay the movie, maybe just go back to the drawing board with his character model and just get it right. I do see some things here that could work. With some minor tweaks to this character, I think it could look pretty good. Shrink him down, make his head a little bigger, add some gloves for God's sakes, and put the right shoes on him, and you have a start. So, I don't think this movie is doomed quite yet, and this could technically all be fake. I mean, this could be a completely huge viral marketing campaign where Sega's just releasing garbage renders of Sonic just to get people talking about it, and then later release something that looks great. And if you were a fan of the Grinch leaks, I mean, you know that nothing is set in stone until it actually happens, so I'm still holding out hope for this movie. I think something good might come of it. But what do you guys think about this? Do any of you out there like this? I'm really curious to hear from all of you that actually like this render. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. And that's going to wrap up tonight's episode of the Nintendo Wiretap. I appreciate you staying with me tonight for a longer episode of this show. From time to time, we do these episodes where it goes a bit longer than a standard one, so I appreciate you guys stopping by. I'll see you soon with yet another episode of the Wiretap, but until then, as always, stay wired in. Bye, guys.